Hey guys, so it's come to my attention that a lot of people think that the happiness fairy is going to descend from the stars and sprinkle mystic, okay, I bought this, or I've worked long enough now and I'm just going to be happy. Dust on their heads, with a pat on the back, and a twinkle in her eye. But the bad news is she's not. So let me tell you guys a secret about why I'm doing so well these days. After I decided to hang around for a while, I was wondering if it was actually okay to me, for me to be happy. I was wondering if it was actually okay for me to be happy. Like, do I really deserve this? No single creature deserves the air that it breathes. So how do you justify being happy? Especially, human condition. And for me, after I have created so many dark things, cast so many shadows, hurt so many people so deeply, at the very least, I could stop hurting other people. And if you're going to stop hurting other people, that means that you have to consciously start helping people. Well, how do you help other people to become happy if you want all of the suffering to stop? Because you can't help people very much if you're miserable and you're stuck on yourself and you're sitting with blinders on under your sheets and drowning out all of the music of the world with your own voice. The most beautiful people that I know are beautiful because of the joy that they bring just by being around. And the happier those people are to be alive, the more understanding, the more fearless and good-hearted they are, the more they naturally do good in the world. The first step for me was to stop feeling sorry for myself by not worrying about myself anymore. And that's not easy. It's really not. I like to slip in here Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the attachment theory that goes along with that. There should be a link down below. It goes hand in hand with what I'm about to tell you. I slip all the time. When a negative thought comes into my mind, or I remember an experience that hurt me deeply, I spend a little bit of time, a conscious moment, a clear conscious moment, considering how I can make that experience turn into joy. How does that experience help me to help other people? Thank goodness for every suffering that I've ever encountered. Every single condition, whether you were born with it, encounter it, develop it, or have it dropped on top of you from what seems like nowhere, it's not an obstacle to overcome, like a lot of people talk about. I've had so many obstacles in my life. Every unhappy moment and every trouble that you have shouldn't be swept away by good things and then just forgotten as dark times. Every experience that you have is a lesson. And you think about this lesson logically, and you think about it emotionally, and then you decide what your actions from that point are going to be. You cannot forget that every action that you make is a decision. No matter how impulsive or undisciplined that decision was, it was yours, and you made it. You continue to make them. Every day we create a new piece of our world with those actions that we've decided upon, even if it's mainly in thought. Even people who seem helpless, when you're in a helpless situation, they create new realities for themselves purely on the perception of the world around them. So if you are creating your own reality, how much more important is it that we all take responsibility for our thoughts and our words and our larger physical actions? Every human being on the face of this planet wants to be happy. You, me, my roommates, your family, terrorists, saints, you name it. A lot of intellectuals are going to be insulted. What? But happiness is such a shallow goal. I just want to save the world, build a better future for the new generation, end cancer. Well, guess what? That would make you pretty freaking happy, wouldn't it? It would be real happiness, because you're creating a lasting joy for more than just yourself. Or maybe it's not cool to be happy. Think about that for a minute. Not cool to be happy? Okay. Special Snowflake Cool Edition. You're not alone. You're making yourself unhappy by separating yourself. Every desire you have to be unhappy is like a little demon or a little virus. Get rid of it. It doesn't belong to you. That's not really a part of you. It's unnatural. And those things are usually fears that are programmed into you. And it's only going to bring you unhappiness and fear to everyone around you. Even the people who feel guilty and think that they don't deserve happiness at all still want to be happy. The only difference is in how they try to obtain it. They feel, and by they I mean we, feel more comfortable trying to be self-deprecating because you feel guilty when you do things that make you happy, especially if the things that are making you temporarily happy are things that actually aren't very good for you, or if they're not good for other people. But then you still end up doing it, and then, the cycle starts all over again because you feel guilty about it. So really what ends up happening is that you are using your unhappiness to try and make yourself happy. And it doesn't work like that. So it's not going to get you anywhere. If you want to get anywhere, that is to create real and lasting happiness for yourself, you have to stop thinking about yourself. What? Excuse me. Did I hear you right? Yeah, you heard me right. We all want to be extra special snowflakes, right? Right. I mean, look, I shaved the side of my head to be extra fabulous. I have 6 pet chickens so that I could be a little bit more self-reliant and support urban farming. I brought really pretty paint for my room the other day. Me. And it feels nice, doesn't it? But it puts you at a standstill. What happens when you think about yourself outside of your basic needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is that you create separation as an excuse. Well, I'm different. As a way to put ourselves above others. Well, I've worked harder. As a way to put ourselves down while still narcissistically revolving the universe around ourselves. I'm not good enough. And as a way to separate ourselves through our experiences. But I've suffered. Here's another secret. Everyone suffers! Suffering is a subjective experience. Starving, abuse, neglect, not getting to play your favorite video game. I'm here talking to you because of the choices that I have made based upon those lessons. And I am telling you that you can be happy and not make the mistake of letting the past rule your life through self-centered dwelling on it. You're not your experiences. Your experiences didn't just add up to be a video recording that defines your life. You are a human being, like everyone else, and you want to be happy. And you can be. When you get self-conscious around people, just remember that the universe doesn't revolve around you, and people are busy doing their own thing. They're probably really not paying any sort of negative attention to you, and if on the off chance someone really is looking to be hurtful, remember that that comes from their own fears, or thinking that maybe they'll feel better for making you feel bad, like it will alleviate their pain somehow. And so once again, we arrive at the conclusion that it's not about you, it's about other people. When doubt, which is a form of fear, comes creeping in, you turn to it and you embrace it. Acknowledge that you have been conditioned to be fearful of X or Y or Z or all three of them, and then overpower it with, if you guess, love. Love. Because love is what creates happiness. Does it sound ridiculous yet? Love and being present enough to experience love. Nothing else. Love yourself first because you are a part of this earth, and since you are where the roots of your thoughts are, that is where you have to start. And then love the ones that love you. And then love your neighbors. Love every neighbor, your neighboring human. If what brings people together and provides a sense of fulfillment is that vague something greater than oneself, that sense of kind of adventure, you're looking for something, there's this kind of natural emptiness when you think about just yourself. If what brings people together and gives that sense of fulfillment is that something greater than oneself, let that something greater be love. And if you don't want to be spiritual about it, then call it being a good person. And if you take one thing from any sort of spirituality, let it be that God and love are the same thing. Either way, let that awesome feeling of real happiness emanate from you, because the more you give, the more you get, and it spirals from there, and before you know it, you've made all of your decisions around real happiness, and not around yourself and the birth condition known as special snowflake syndrome. Each one of us is already special. We're born special. Be yourself, but love yourself. It's not impossible. It starts with compassion and forgiveness. Then it's acted out by bravery and patience. And it takes practice. You've been practicing negative thought patterns and allowance and acceptance of fears. So now you have to practice fighting those things. And it's not fluffy, fuzzy, wuzzy good feels, just a little bit. But it is truly the most logical way to create a good life for other people. And it has the side effect of being the best thing you can possibly do for yourself. Guys, so thank you for watching my first video. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, complain, message, follow, whatever. Special snowflake. Check out this candle that I found at Kmart the other day. It's watermelon scented.